I'm at a loss for words, guys. I'm at a loss for words. What's going on? What is really going on? Last season, last season at St. James's Park against Newcastle United, Nicholas Jackson got a red card, right? It wasn't early in the game. It was at that time, I think, midpoint of the first half. But we played okay. Some would argue we were even the better team with 10 men versus a Newcastle team with a full squad. Is Eddie Howe's Newcastle less of a threat than Fabian Herzela's Brighton? I would argue that Eddie Howe is doing a more prolific job at Newcastle, even last season. What is going on with Enzo Maresca? Was I delayed in terms of my thought with regards to what's happening in England and all the speculation about Enzo Maresca being under pressure? Oh, right now, Enzo Maresca is under pressure. We can't look at the red cards between last week and this week and be conclusive in saying that last week Sanchez threw us under the bus, this week Chalobah has thrown us under the bus. There's an element of Andre Santos's mistake causing the red card, definitely. You know, you're throwing your team under the bus, just as Sanchez threw us under the bus last week. But two very different scenarios. Today, we had already scored. We were leading, right? We lose a central defender. Painful one, but I mean, we understand what it means to lose a central defender. You can bring one on, sacrifice a midfielder, or sacrifice an attacker, right? We sacrifice Andre Santos, the man who made the mistake that caused Chalobah to make that decision. All right, we do that. So Maresca's kept the whole front line intact, which is a good thing for some moments, right? For a few minutes. And then Esteval, the player who's been the most successful dribbler since he arrived. He's been executing dribbles, getting the crowd off their feet. He could have been the reason we kept the ball far away from our 18. Maresca says no. Why? Why the young boy? Why the boy with stamina? What's wrong, Maresca? What is going on with Maresca? What happened today? Why is he overthinking? Why is he losing trust in his players? Is it because he's worked with... No, it doesn't make sense in terms of who he's worked with, because Joao Pedro played 90 minutes. Joao Pedro played the whole game. But why? It doesn't even make sense, guys. He didn't see anything. Did we see Joao Pedro? No. No. Red box, Enzo Maresca. We open up there. And Maresca is digging his own grave. That's the phrase. Maresca is overthinking, overreacting, being very impulsive in red card situations. Yes, it's unfair on him as a manager when he sees his team start so well, get the goal, get ahead, and then he has to deal with the situation of a red card again in back-to-back games. I'm sure it's a challenge for him. You know? But he's been in the job long enough. This manager's won trophies with us. This manager has increased expectation from himself, from us to him, from the board to Maresca. He's made it worse. He's put himself under pressure. But that pressure should make diamonds. It should make diamonds. Not what's happening to Enzo Maresca right now. Second box, red box for Santos, but it's because of one clumsy decision. But we have to be honest, guys. If he doesn't make that decision, there's a 80% chance we win this game. We were playing so well. We needed the win today. Oh my gosh. Yo, I can't. Third box, Esteval William, white box. He played well, best spark in our team. First minutes of the game, he could have maybe cut back in some moments. He tried to shoot in every moment, but he made a decision. So I respect that from the youngster. Successful dribbling, getting past players, getting us forward. The way a winger should in Maresca's system. Doing everything right. So that's the only positive right now. Last box, Malo Gusto, because Malo Gusto came on for Esteval. Malo Gusto was brought on by our manager with Reece James on the pitch. So they're both playing right back, right wing back. Oh, but Gusto's a right wing. Is Gusto capable? No. He's really not. Gusto as a forward, I don't know why Maresca does it. In the Conference League last season, he played him as a left wing. I think against Djurgården, if I remember correctly. Today, he played him as a right wing. There's one moment where Gusto could have burst forward. He could have driven the ball forward. He cuts back. He tries to cross. At least he gets it to Enzo. Enzo finds Neto. That move broke down. It broke down eventually. It didn't work out. But he could have just driven us forward. Almost could have been a penalty for that clumsy high boot that could have made contact with Minte. Fabian Ghazala, credit for bringing Minte to the left. Reece James was dealing with him just fine until Gusto had to deal with him. And then that cross comes in and Danny Welbeck says, thank you very much. Later on, we make another mistake. But Robert Sanchez doesn't even deserve a red box. Robert Sanchez against Brighton. Has he ever played well against Brighton? This is not the first time he's been trying to give gifts to Brighton. I remember him gifting an assist to Baleba 2 seasons ago or last season. I believe last season, actually, in that 4-2 win. So we needed Palmer. Now that I think about that 4-2 win, maybe we needed Palmer to control the game with 10 men. Are we still Palmer FC? I really thought we've moved on. Tactical analysis. 3 CMs. Andre Santos, Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo. Moise Caicedo being the deep-lying defensive mid. Definitely right. Santos is not going forward. Enzo Fernandez is the box-to-box. Ghosting in, gets his goal today. The wingers are not creating. Esteval is getting into the 18 over and over, but he's not really trying to find Joao Pedro. So Joao Pedro has a frustrating game where we don't even see him as fans. Backline, Kukreda has an okay game. Starts a bit shaky. Minte gets past him once or twice, but then he gets comfortable. He plays well. I'm happy with Jorel Hato, actually. As a centre-back, he played really well for his first start in the backline as a CB. So, yeah. Got a text from Snallow before the game. The boy's like, why doesn't Ashimpong get the start? Which kind of makes sense, right? If you look at Hato and Ashimpong, experience-wise, not much of a difference. Age-wise, not much of a difference. Maybe just physicality. That's the only thing. But Ashimpong has good positioning. He did come on, but not for the reasons he'd want to. It's a desperate situation. So you have to come on. You're part of a sacrifice due to a red card. Reece James played well. Gave us a scare, when he landed awkwardly. Let's hope there's nothing in that. Let's hope checks deem him fully fit. This coming week, we have Benfica, then we have Liverpool. So against Liverpool, what are we guessing in terms of CB starting? Hato next to Ashimpong. Badiashile next to Ashimpong. Badiashile next to Hato. Give Liverpool the points. Give them. Let's get rest. Maybe that's what we need. Forfeit and we rest. The boys can be ready for that other week. Oh, actually, after Liverpool's international break. So yes, perfect. Perfect. Forfeiting is still part of football. Maresca, please. To close off, Enzo Maresca, please. Please. There are better ways to deal with desperate situations in football. There really are. Let's get it, y'all.